When Eliza Kempner bought this house, apparently it wasn't big enough, so she decided to add on this huge addition on the back of the house. She also made some other changes, closing in open porches to create more living space. In 1920, Eliza Kempner commissioned noted architect Birdsall P. Briscoe to design an addition to the house to add a sunroom, bedroom, and full bathroom. Briscoe designed many homes in Houston's River Oaks, and most notably, Briscoe served as associate architect to John S. Staub in the development of Bayou Bend, the home of I'm a Hog, who bequeathed her estate to the Museum of Fine Arts. He may have been a fancy architect of the day, but I think there are flaws in the design that have led to the serious damage I'm having to deal with today. I'll point those things out as we go along. Situated on the northwest corner of the house, the exterior blends with the original gray plaster, but has a distinctively Italianate style, with a flat roof, square symmetrical shape, and tall appearance. I find it interesting because Italianate architecture went out of style in the 1880s. The interior is clearly truer to the 1920s love of Spanish Revival, which is very prominent in the sunroom, but can be seen here more subtly in the arched doors of the bedroom. During the renovation, radiator heat replaced the original gravity-fed central furnace. To access the room, a portion of the second floor stair balcony was taken in to create a private entry. To make use of this space, a dressing area was built. It's been damaged by a roof leak and plumbing leaks from the third floor, but it's nothing that can't be repaired and put back in use. A pink bathroom that is so over-the-top ugly that it's fabulous joins the original west bedroom to this added bedroom. The addition was built right over one of the magnificent stained glass windows. This wall is directly above that wall that collapsed in the sunroom in the One Finger demo video. There's also signs of water damage here too. I can reach my hand in this gap and feel that the wood is wet and rotten. The ceiling plaster has also been replaced with sheetrock, so that tells me that something else bad has been going on up here in this room. Fortunately, unlike the rest of the house, which has beautiful plaster moldings, this room was designed more simplistically, so it doesn't really have anything that can't be demoed out and easily replicated. There's also been an electrical fire over here, and there's this ugly AC split unit. All of that's going to come out. We'll save all the trim that we can and reuse it when we put the room back together. Almost everything in this room has to come down because above the ceiling is the flat roof where the new AC equipment will be located. I need to know that everything is structurally sound so it can hold the weight. Remember my S rules, safety and structural integrity are two biggies. I would not want to be sleeping in this room with those AC units over my head, not knowing what's above this ceiling. I'm anticipating a lot of damage based on what I see from up on the roof itself. The floors are in great shape, so to protect them, I'm going to cut up this giant rug and turn it into a padded drop cloth. It looks pretty good on video, but it's really rotten and beyond saving. So it'll help protect the hardwood floors when this heavy plaster falls. Demolition got started and went quickly. All the debris was thrown out the window, so that saved a lot of time. And with the demo done, the damage was as bad as I expected. With the plaster down, you could see how the exterior of the house was just covered over by the addition, including where the stained glass window was located. First, I found it curious that you can really see the slope they put on this flat roof. It's actually got a pretty significant slope coming back towards the house. It's harder to see this way, but I can see from the ground a strong slope from the outer wall back to this interior edge, which is a weird place to channel a lot of water because it puts it into an area that's almost impossible to drain. It basically flows out right here above the stained glass window where we already had design flaw number one, the problem of that roof being incorrectly designed so that water ran behind the stained glass for years, doing all that damage below. Even if it had gone into the gutter properly, it would have drained into this very narrow U-shaped portion of the house, which is at a lower elevation from the yard, so it has nowhere for the water to run. That would have made some sense in 1893 when they needed to capture water for the cistern, but by 1920, when they built this house, they were on city water and did not need that cistern. So to me, it would have made more sense for the water to go out the back and have some kind of parapet opening and drain it away from the house. So that's design flaw number 2. The slope can't be changed at this point without extreme expense, so that's something we'll just have to deal with in setting up a drainage plan for the yard. Okay, I'm finally here when there's enough rain to show you what's going on. Because the house all drains to this U-shaped area and everything around it is higher than the house, the water is just pooled up here like a giant lake, and it's almost about to run into the basement. You can see why it was such a bad idea to slope that flat roof towards this U-shaped area. We'll get into more of the water problems later, but let's get back to the addition itself. Okay, this is why we do demo. You can see the water leak caused complete rot and loss of the top plate. These roof joists are just free floating. This is the old roof coming down, pitched roof, before the addition was put on. And up there it ties into the flat roof over the addition, where there's been a lot of leaking and water damage over the years. Take a look at this. I'm going to turn you sideways, where you can see the beam here. There's just nothing left. When they do the flat roof, they'll rip off a lot of that decking and replace that and make that all sound. Fortunately, the beams in the wall on the other side are solid. The wood's good. They're also clipped in with metal, so that's structurally great. They're going to put a beam across here and some joist hangers to tie these in. This will just carry the load of the sheetrock, so not a lot of weight going in up there. You can see holes in the roof where there were some very large vents that had deteriorated and were letting water in. There's a lot of rotting on the flat roof deck, and that will be replaced, and some other shoring up to do. These vents weren't really necessary because there are 3 of these wall vents in this portion of the attic alone, and I think that's plenty for ventilation. As you can see here, the wall of the addition was just butted up to the existing wall with no flashing. Look closely and you can see daylight coming through. If there's daylight, there's water. So that's design flaw number 3. Finally, after all the demolition being done on this house, lumber was delivered and something actually started getting put back together. Oh my God. One down, whole bunch to go. It's already looking better. Before you know it, this room was done. Everything is structurally sound and ready for the air conditioner units to go on the roof. The room itself will stay like this for a while until I get all of the electrical and plumbing done. And I still have to figure out if the floor joists coming into this damaged wall or rotted, or if they're sound, if I have to replace them. Am I going to do that from above or below? But that's a problem to solve another day. This wall's been demolished to access the plumbing in the pink bath, and it's on to the next disaster that's lurking around the corner. This addition and the closing in of the porches was the most extensive change to this house. Fortunately, the rest of it was just cosmetic, so it has an interesting kind of feel to it. There's the original 1893 Clayton design, and then just stuck on the side is that 1920 Briscoe design, which is now over 100 years old. So I'm going to keep both. They tell a story of the house, they're part of the history of the house, and they really don't interfere with each other much other than the covering of that stained glass window, which we'll address when that stained glass comes back in. So thanks for watching. There's a lot going on here. There are so many projects and so much work to be done. You don't want to miss anything. So check out some of the other videos and be sure and subscribe and turn on your notifications because this is going to be a long, incredible journey restoring this house. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.